Okay. You'll see them. Hello.
Gabs.
Gabriele, welcome.
She can't hear you.
No, now? Hi,
Yeah.
Gabs. Welcome. Nice. Should we start?
Yeah, maybe do you guys
Okay.
want to introduce yourselves first quickly? We can start. I'm Jack. I'm from the UK and I'm in my first year here at DNS.
Yeah, my name is Vendy. I'm from Czech Republic and I'm also in the first year of 4 years program in DNS, and the college is based in Denmark.
Rima?
Hello, I'm Rima, some of you know me, and I'm here in the communication and admission office at DNS, together with Wendy and Jack, who are in front of me actually, but and yeah, I'm Rima, I'm from Algeria, and I'm working here at DNS. Nice to meet you all.
Barbara?
Hi, I'm Barbara. I'm from Slovakia, and I am in pre-course of DNS in Sevinga.
Hi, welcome. Nina?
Hi, I'm Nina. I'm from the UK and I'm in my first year of DNS with Vendy and Jack.
Beatriz?
Hi everyone, I'm Beatrice. I'm from Italy and hopefully I'll join DNS 2020.
Wow, okay.
See you soon.
Yeah, see you soon.
Gabs?
So I am Gabriele. I'm from Lithuania and I am also in my first year of the program in DNS.
You. Karina?
I hope it works. I'm Karina. I'm from Lithuania as well. I'm 18 and I think I will be joining DNS 21.
Wow.
Cool.
Nice. Miko?
Hi there, I'm joining from Georgia. In case you don't know, it's a post-Soviet country located between Turkey, Russia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. So I popped in for 30 minutes. I do not intend to join DNS yet, maybe in the future, who knows, after some research. I study liberal arts and acting. I'm finishing this year in Tbilisi, Ilia State University in Tbilisi.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Katarina?
Hi, I'm Katerina. I'm from Italy. I living now in Norway. I don't study at DNS, but I'm been there 2 years ago for a youth exchange.
Okay. Caro? I'm not sure how to pronounce. We cannot hear you. You need to unmute yourself.
Sorry. Hi.
Hello.
Today, okay, and my Wi-Fi is not very good.
Yeah, you're lagging.
But I'm very excited.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, sorry, my Wi-Fi is not very good. So, but yeah, I'm Charo. I'm Dutch. I study history and Spanish in the UK, and
I've been finding these seminars very interesting, so I'm definitely looking into DNS more now.
Okay, sweet.
Ooh. Diane?
Hello, my name is Diane. I'm originally from Luxembourg, living currently still in Malta, trying to get back to Luxembourg. And there I want to help in the education system because they're looking for people, because they try to make smaller classes, but they need people to like watch the children. So I try to get in there as long as this is still going on. And then hopefully join DNS 2020. We'll see how it will go.
Thank you. Loana? We cannot hear you.
Hi. I'm from Romania, studying in France. And I find out about DNS like 2 months ago. I'm so in for searching information and participating in stuff. So thank you for doing this.
Nice.
Hello, everybody.
Remes?
You're mute.
I said that my Wi-Fi just turned off,
Okay.
and that happened. My name is Raisa, and I am from Romania, I think, as well as Ioana. Yeah, and I study here, and I found out about this meeting from a friend of mine.
Okay.
Okay.
That's cool. And then we have Christina.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Christina, and I don't know who I am. That's why I'm here.
Nice to meet you. And Lucrecia? Lucrecia?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm interested in joining DNS, so here's how I found it.
Okay.
Okay. Would you mind if you can turn on the camera so we can see each other? If possible?
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello.
And then we have Amina.
No.
No, we don't have
We
Amina.
don't know. Okay.
Okay, but we can start. And I just wanted to mention on the beginning the Zoom rules that if you would like to speak or answer question or just comment, just raise your hands and then speak. So we don't talk over each other. We don't interrupt each other. And then when you want to speak, you need to unmute yourself. And then I will ask you to mute yourself again. So then we avoid these technical issues. And yeah, I asked on the beginning if it's possible, if it's okay for you to record this workshop.
We record, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, a bit about ourselves. We are, as we said, in first year of DNS. So we have just come back 2 months ago from a study travel to Northwestern Africa and back by bus. And basically now we're at the end of our bring it to the public period. So this presentation is part of kind of sharing some of the knowledge that we gained on this travel. And it's not just about the travel, but we will be sharing experiences from the travel. Yeah, and today, yeah, it's about identity, kind of which factors define who we are. And first, we're gonna kind of brainstorm which aspects they are, kind of together, looking mostly actually at the kind of boxes that we're put in, like the factors, aspects of the identity that we fill out maybe on a form. And yeah, to see how important that is to us. And each of us are gonna fill it out and answer the questions depending on which aspects we come up with. And then we're gonna see, yeah, which is most important, least important, and why. What disadvantages each of these aspects may bring to us and to others. And then we're gonna have a few kind of questions at the end in groups, which we will maybe debate a bit about. Yeah, so first part.
Yeah, I just want to add that to emphasize that like we don't know everything about these topics, but we are here to be open and to learn also from each other, and yeah, to receive different opinions and be respectful to each other. So yeah, we would like to start with this brainstorming about this aspect, what defined who we are, like kind of together. So if you have some example, or you can just raise your hand and answer.
So I can start. So like the first one maybe would be nationality. So a lot of the way we're defined is now when we're introducing ourselves, one of the first things we say is what country we come from. Yeah, so that's the first one. And if anyone else has others?
Gaps?
I think it can be either a profession or in general what you do in life. Like now we are students, yeah, so we identify ourselves as students. But if I would be a teacher, then I would be a teacher.
Soon.
Yeah, Beatrice?
I'd say also the aspect, because we also asked each other to turn on the camera, so it's nice to see each other, see how we look, how our smileys or whatever.
Okay, so appearance. Any others?
Karina?
I suppose it could be also religion in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Rima?
I don't know if somebody mentioned, but also family background.
In what sense?
Like the values that your family also like kind of try and also not impose, but share with you and try to create you in that way.
Mm-hmm.
What about gender?
Gender, yeah, for sure.
Barbara?
Political views.
Yeah.
Nice.
It could also be the personality and how you act.
Mm-hmm. Is this something?
Maybe introvert, extrovert, and like that?
Yeah. That's
I personally don't, but some people believe in zodiac signs as well and assigned characteristics.
Gaps?
To the zodiacs, I also was thinking about similar things, are kind of archetypes, because there are a lot of different ways how to distinguish people in certain categories, and zodiacs is one of them, but they're based on psychology. So like an introvert, extrovert can also be archetypes because they also split into a lot of like more different types and sections.
Diana?
Interests in global, like whatever person is interested in something. Like if I'm coming and say, oh, I like fishing. Nobody who likes fishing will not go fishing with me. But if there's a guy or girl who says, yes, I like fishing too. So we have a theme and topic.
Yeah, for sure. So hobbies and interests, yeah.
Yeah, like hobbies, or like if I say I'm interested in neocolonism in Africa, if there's someone who's just thinking about, oh no, I just like the next trend of Kim Kardashian, is not gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna go with that topic. Then someone else like who will be like also interested is gonna be like, yes, let's talk about it. So it doesn't it's like hobbies, everything, like what is interesting you keeps you together.
Any others?
Nina?
I have two. One being age, and another being like sexuality or sexual orientation.
Yeah. Yeah, Miko said gender earlier, and I thought when we were brainstorming earlier, I thought that it's good to separate between gender and sex as something that is more.
So your biological sex is different, gender is different, and then sexual orientation is the third thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should I explain?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So your gender is the pack of behaviors that is created by society, and you may have you may say that you're agender, meaning you don't put yourself between manhood or womanhood, let's say. And then there is ideas that, for example, females have longer hair, they should wear jewelry, maybe wear high heels. It's very stereotypical, of course, Christina, but it exists, let's say. And then men is the one who should be masculine and the probably in very patriarchal societies earn more money or something like this. And we feminists, I consider myself a feminist too, fight for equal, pay and so on. Your sexual orientation is the thing that to whom you're sexually attracted to. This can be man, female, something in between. Usually, there is this ideas that sexuality is fluid, that there's some scale and you can be totally straight, totally homosexual, or something in between. And then your biological sex is you're either man, woman, or intersex. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Shortly, I'm not sure if it was clear or not, but that's the way I understand it from my expertise.
Yeah, Diana.
Was nice explanation though. Everything good understood. From my point of view, I think also that experience is a topic, like where you go in, because someone who experienced the same or similar or who knows about the experience, let's say older people, if you talk with some, they are like, you don't know about that, you never experienced this. And then if you're like a young one saying, I know about that, I already made this, then they like look differently. They see you like, oh, so you know, okay, and then you in that group as well. Because for them, it's when you don't know, like didn't experience, you can't know about it. You just read about it. And that's like also, even like for young people, it's not just old, it's both.
Is that in relation to gender or?
No, that's like a topic for himself. Even I just commented and it went smoothly over.
Okay. Maybe we should move on, but there are a few that we noted down earlier, which no one mentioned. One of them being name. I think that's quite an essential part of our identity. Definitely the first thing we usually introduce when we meet someone. And then there's race as well, something no one mentioned. And then what else do we have? We had class, which is kind of related to profession, but in some societies, class is very much important, whether you're working class, middle class, upper class. And then finally, we have language as well, which is also quite a central part of identity. Here we're all speaking English, but most people here it's a second language. So yeah. Unless anyone else has any others to add. Okay. Yeah, so now we're going to ask you to fill out, does everyone have pen and paper somewhere to write with?
Does electronic notes count?
Yeah, you can, just anything. But basically, if everyone just, yeah, Vendy's gonna write them all in the chat. And if you could just write personally, you don't have to share it if you don't want to, but write for yourself, like how you identify in each of these categories that we've named. Yeah, and we just give you 5 minutes to do so. We would also do it, so.
Oh, okay, little bit complicated. Everything what we said, so class, ethnicity, sexual orientation, like all of them.
Yeah, we need to in the thing in the chat.
Can you share once again, like all the categories? Like I had here something going on, so I didn't hit all the categories. Like I have to like get me pen and paper and like.
They'll be in the chat.
It's in the chat because I was looking and there was nothing.
Just
That's why
write it's going to be there, and maybe you can.
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe not this one. Should put some music or something.
Yeah.
Is everyone done? Need more time? Yeah, we're good. I don't see any opposition right now, so okay.
Yeah, so as you can see that person has many identities, and some of them are very easily to see. For example, the race, or we can easily assume the gender of the person, but some of them are also that we cannot see clear, easily. For example, the educational level of the person. And I would like to ask you, what is the most important for you? Which factors is the most important for you, and why?
And also, when you meet other people, like, what is the most important, like, that you want to know about the other person that plays a big part in your mind when you meet someone? If anyone wants to share. Nico?
So I think one doesn't work without another one. So you have to, if you really want to get to the person, you have to know all of this, at least slightly. And usually people are not really, I mean, I wrote it down now really strictly, but it's usually people are not sure of these things. Like in everyday life, people don't think of themselves in this way. They don't try to put themselves in strict frames like, oh, I'm leftist, I'm rightist, and so on. So it's constant, and it's constantly changing, I believe, depends on your influences in life. So and depends how old are you and in which country you live in. So it might change. First of all, people are not sure about it. That's why I want to just share. And some people don't even believe in those identities just because of their religious views or certain identity. Like one identity can make another's disappear or make them a less smaller priority, let's say. For me personally, my like, let's say my political struggle is mainly with my sexuality, because in the country I live in, we don't have much rights, and there is like big homophobia. So that's my main political struggle and fight. If you see me versus society or government. Other than that, I'm interested, like if it's about other people, usually I'm interested in all of the above, all of the mentioned.
Okay. So there are none that are not important for you?
I would not say they are not important. I don't, I don't choose friends, for example, by their race or language they speak. But for example, if a person, let's say, doesn't know any language I speak,
yeah,
I should invest much more time, like in communicating my thoughts with this person, right? So I should decide: am I ready to invest this time to communicate with that person, or it's just not worth it? So that's that thing. Like in regard of the language, for example. In regard of the religion, for example, most of the people in my country are Orthodox, and if they are really strong Orthodox, I usually just can't build a conversation with them, because everything they say is not built on rational, it doesn't have rational base, but it has a base from quotes of the third person, which narrated Bible, or like some phrase of a priest, like basically not solid rational thought. So that's why it just doesn't work. It's better to communicate with, not better, just easier to communicate with people which have at least something common with you from all of the mentioned. If you have at least one contact point with someone, you can maybe build a conversation. If you don't agree in all of these things, and you are like against each other, probably you should not be in one room at all.
Okay. Anyone else? What's important for you? What's least important?
Beatrice?
So I was thinking about nationality. It's one of the first things I actually ask, maybe also because I've had many experiences abroad, and for me it's really interesting to also ask about the culture of someone, or all the things that nationality brings, like habits, the language, whatever. Just something I'm interested in sharing. It's not that it's a barrier for me to get to know the person. And then I'd say also passions, because even though maybe we might seem so distant, we might find something that is really in common between each other. So it could be really a contact point. And I'd love to say that I'm not interested at all in like biological sex. And it's actually really, I don't know, it's interesting to me when I see a person, I meet a person, and I don't know what sex they are, maybe because of their appearance, or I don't know, choices they've made. Because usually we're used to know, like, divide, okay, woman or man, and act in different way if it's a woman or a man, or also regarding age. I'd say, like, if the person is really young, maybe we might give for granted that that person doesn't have such a knowledge or such a such experience to be able to maybe have a deeper conversation, or yeah. I think that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Gab? Who's the next?
Yeah, I was thinking like about what is important, like for a person to define to himself, and what is important for me when I meet a person. That's kind of different. Like, for example, I think that regarding sexuality or orientation, it's good to acknowledge it in yourself and define it for yourself. But for me, it doesn't really make a difference what the person decides. But what I find kind of very important is language, because it's one of the main tools of communication. So in order for me to kind of be able to speak to a person, I would need to somehow, communicate. And this is one of the things actually that in the travel was one of the biggest challenges for me, because in most of the countries, they either speak Arabic or French, Portuguese or Creole. And it was quite difficult, but then there usually were people that could kind of communicate in between or work as translators. So it was in a way still nice to talk to people, but it was much more difficult. So I think if we have a common language, that's already a very good base for interaction. Mm-hmm. And I think all of them, like, I think it's good to define it for yourself, but as I said before, for me, it doesn't really make a difference, because I also like to talk to people, or I'm interested in those that are different from me and I don't share the same values or the same passions, the same interests with. So the more different, the better.
Anyone else want to share? No. Okay. Then the next point was looking at these aspects now. Do any of them kind of bring you some sort of disadvantage in life? And if you can't think of it yourself personally, then maybe can you imagine that any of these bring disadvantages generally? I mean, Miko shared about sexuality in Georgia. But if any of you are willing to share what disadvantages any aspects bring you or could bring other people. No one wants to share? Nina, I'm gonna pick on you.
Yeah, I'm just reading through the list. And I think it's a disadvantage for lots of different people. This one that I'm going to mention about class, because obviously there are advantages and disadvantages of being in different classes. And as a student, you know, there's lots of kind of limitations on this identity. And if you identify as a student, you know, there's certain things you can do and certain things you can't do. And I don't know if it's a disadvantage, but some kind of like limitation. But I see that class is a really big thing that is part of people's identities, whether they can change it or not. Like as a student, it's something, you know, that you can kind of choose and you can change, but other like levels of class are very difficult to, like, you're not necessarily in control of it. And like, I think that's one of the bigger things that kind of means that it's more of a disadvantage, because you're not necessarily in control of changing that about yourself, which is why some other things as well. But I don't know if anybody else has any other, because otherwise I'll just talk about it all.
I think all of them can bring disadvantages, except maybe passions and zodiac sign. Like everything can be disadvantage for you.
Mm-hmm. Can you bring an example, maybe not of yourself, but one which is the most prevalent?
I think that the race, religion, maybe nationality are like very outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in terms of race.
And, also gender, yeah, all of that.
Yeah, about the race, like the racism, what when we were here, I was not like aware, but since we started to travel also through the northwestern Africa countries, we experienced in Mauritania that because we were investigating about natural resources, and we are curious about to know why the country is so poor if nature is so rich. So we visited the fishing port in Mauritania, and you know, there is job when the people are going to fishing during the night, and it's very difficult and demanding job. And there is the other one, like being captain or working in the companies and then just like cleaning the fishes and sorting. And we saw that most of the fishermen were black people. And we asked the people, like, why is it like that? And they said that they believe that if the person is man, is black, and is big, he's strong, and then that they need like strongness to do this job. But we knew that like because in Mauritania you have the Arab Mauritanians and black Mauritanians, and the black one, before the slavery were abolished in this country, just like 2007, they were mostly the slaves. So there is this hierarchy. And then also like a lot of Senegalese people who were going for a job to Mauritania, they were also on this job positions. But otherwise, not so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think racism is actually more prevalent in Europe. I know in the UK it's a huge kind of disadvantage in society to be black. There's less access to education. There's a disproportionate amount of black people in prison, and yeah, generally, yeah. I mean, it's a huge topic which I don't feel that I have the knowledge or experience to talk about in full. But I've definitely witnessed more racism in Europe than I saw prevalent on the travel. Yeah. Rima?
For me, sorry, for me, one of the topics that is really controversial is the political views, because especially in my country, I mean, we are run by a military regime. So the persons, or they do support the military regime, or they do support the military regime. They don't have other choices. So the political views for the country where I come from, it's a very big disadvantage for the people, because they cannot express, especially when it's also related with religion. So as you know, also Islamic countries, we don't have the separation between political views or politics and religion. One's go with the other. So both are mixed. And I would like to ask Wendy and Jack, like in the countries that you passed, like that you traveled during your investigations, how did you see the political views and like the freedom of expressing their own political views in the countries that you have been?
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting because on the travel I didn't notice so much the political views. That we simply didn't really talk about politics with most of the hosts. And then since we've been doing Bring It to the Public, some of the people we met on the travel have been joining, and we've noticed that they haven't wanted to speak about political issues with us, especially ones that were going to be broadcast. And Asadek has joined a few of these live streams, but hasn't felt comfortable speaking because he's in a public space and doesn't want people to hear him talking about politics. So yeah, it's there's definitely more freedom of expression in terms of politics here in Europe than there is. Yeah. Andy? Yeah.
Yeah, I was investigating about politics in the Gambia, and we found out that there were the dictators regime before, and people was sharing with us how was it, and that it was very dangerous. They could not talk even on the streets about politics, about the dictators, like not express themselves. And a lot of people were missing, like they were just like killing without reasons, or if you would like to speak up, they will shut you down. And a lot of people were sharing now, because they were saying that with the new president, it's less dangerous, that the people can express their opinion, and they were willing to also share with us because they were happy that we are interested what is going on in the country. And yeah.
Yeah, anyone else see any disadvantages, maybe of gender, of age?
Diana?
Well, not like on the gender or the age, but I just take all the categories and I put in the belief of what you think about the category himself. Before we got asked what is like the first thing you ask someone when you go into a conversation, and I hate it. And if someone asks me, where are you from? How old are you? This is like the two, of course, at one point you're going to share this information. But for me, like, especially here in Malta, it's the easiest way to get into a community, like to communicate with someone. But it's also the most hated question for me, because the reaction most often is similar when I say I'm from Luxembourg, or it's like people just don't know where it is. Or they're like, oh yeah, it's a heaven to live there because it's such a rich country. I'm just like, maybe it's a rich country in the perspective of finances, but it doesn't mean that the people all are rich there, or the society or community is rich. It's actually very, very poor in that sense. And well, for me. And so I like to start always like the belief question, like, what do you think about your own country? What do you think about people? What, like, I'm going this direction. And for me, very, very sad is, for example, I have a friend from Gambia living here in Malta, from South Africa. And when I first asked him about his country was when I was in the weekend for neocolonialism. I was talking with him, and it took him almost a week. Even like after the project was over, he just gave me the answer of it. I told him, you can still give it to me. I'm still interested. And it was very hard for him just to start the conversation, because he was like, you don't want to hear about that. You're not gonna like that. You're gonna tell me that I'm wrong. I'm just like, why should I do something like this? I mean, it's your opinion. You can just say what you believe and how you feel about it. And finally, he shared it with me, and I don't know what he expected from me to react on, because he just told me the bad reality, how it is there, like you say as well, and but also that the people are very, very social and helpful and warm-hearted and grateful. And for me, many people have these pre-beliefs, these pre-thoughts. They know without knowing, so they actually don't know. They just assume, or they think, but they don't know. And these beliefs, that's like what I like to talk with people. I was traveling through many different countries. I was talking with many different culture, like people from different cultures. And one thing I always see is that most people go straight to a negative approach, or think about the bad sides, or the worst what happened, or the sad things which happened, and they forgot to appreciate or embrace the good things coming with all these categories. Sure, I'm the last one who's gonna put you in a category, because I hate it to be put it in. But from one point of view, if someone is coming up, where are you from, for the 10th time, I have to answer like, yeah, I got born in Luxembourg, because it's a matter of fact, I got born there. But it doesn't mean that all the things you think about it is assuming with me or fitting with me, and all the other things. And yeah, this is what I think is like really hard sometimes to grab in the reality, that people often drown in this sadness, and they have a hard time to come out of this drowning and this manifesting of negative beliefs or thoughts of that situation, of each category. And that is really heartbreaking for me. And that's why I try, when I talk with the people, I'm often be like, why is this? And how made it feel? It made you feel? And did you once choose to think differently? And then some people look at me like, no, why? How? I'm just like, you can try. I mean, do it or don't do it. That's something I learned here with Macedonian guy. When I said you can try, he's like looking at me, no, you don't try. You do or you don't do. There's nothing in between. So that's like a new approach I'm gonna apply now. If people like ask me and tell me like, I try, I'm like, there is no trying. You just try and you failed. It's not you gonna try. Or you do or you don't do. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Moving on from that, I think yeah, we're gonna put you into groups in a second, and I think on this topic, some of the discussions I've had about kind of prejudice, which is kind of what we're talking about here, and the disadvantages of these kind of aspects of our identity, is that we're put into boxes, as kind of Diane was explaining. And one of the things that people say to me, especially regarding things like race and gender and sexuality, is that we shouldn't have boxes in the first place, and that we should get rid of them, and that we should just see each other as other human beings. We shouldn't see gender, we shouldn't see race, we shouldn't see sexuality. We should all be yeah, not the same, but to not judge each other by this. And this is something that I've debated a lot. Kind of, yeah, I've debated with a lot, and I wanted to see what you guys thought. So that would be like the first question, is like, do you think these categories, these aspects of identity are necessary? Or do you think they bring more disadvantages than anything else? And then the second question is what are the other ways in which we can eliminate these disadvantages? Was that the question?
Yeah.
How can we overcome this prejudice on all of these aspects? Yeah, it's quite a big question, but we'll see. We'll have like 20 minutes, so 10 minutes for each question, and we'll split you into 2 groups. We'll fly by and see how you're doing every so often. Yeah, does everyone understand? Yes?
Sorry, can you repeat the first question?
First question, so should we get rid of like labels and boxes? Let's put it simply.
Yeah, sorry, I said the first, like the other one?
The other one, like how to eliminate prejudice, basically.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I don't know if 2 groups, if we're not still too many people there, if it wouldn't be better than to 3.
3 groups?
But I don't want to like destroy your
No, it's a good.
or whatever.
It doesn't look like there's so many people on the screen, but actually it's more than I thought. So yeah, we'll put you into 3. Vendy's just doing it now, so yeah.
I'm trying my best. A lot of people. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enjoy, guys. See you in 20 minutes. Should we get rid of boxes, labels, and how to eliminate prejudice and discrimination, etc.?
Inviting, but I just want to attend this meeting. And you hear me?
So maybe we should go first to my question. So yeah, the first one, should we get rid of these boxes? Or like are they important or necessary or like?
Yeah.
One thing, maybe you can answer also. I think it's important. I don't know how we actually
Oh, hello.
I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
Now, yes.
Yeah. I will add you to one of them group,
Okay.
and they are discussing about. We gave a question about should we get rid of the labels, the boxes. You know, putting in these boxes like according how you look or who you love or what is your belief. So they are discussing about these questions. And
Okay, but I did not get it. What's the meaning of boxes?
you know, like when we are putting ourselves or people are putting us in the boxes of what we believe, what is our religion, or how we look, our appearance.
Ah, okay, I get it.
Okay, so.
Okay, and I'm so sorry for being late because I already had a parallel course lecture right now.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Just join them. Okay.
Yeah.
You should have it. Do you have on your screen that you can join the? Yeah. Okay. Mike? Can you hear us? Mike? Try to unmute yourself so we can hear you. Try.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Hi.
Good. Hello. Hello, Jack.
Hi. How are
How's
you?
it going? I'm all right, thank you.
But
Nice. I'm really sorry for coming in really late, man. I was hoping to get the link and yeah, so I just kind of had to find out by myself.
you did?
So I managed to figure it out.
Okay, but we are having the discussion. We divide them in the 3 groups.
All right.
And they have like 3 minutes and they will finish. So I don't know if you want to join them.
Sorry about that. Okay, I would like to join in, but I'll need some intel about what's happening, like if I have time to catch up.
You can just join the discussion afterwards because they're almost so.
Like in 3 minutes?
2 minutes. Yeah.
2 minutes. We will put them all together. We will have like discussion afterwards and then conclusion.
All right. Okay.
Mhm.
Right. That's okay.
But we cannot see.
Then come again.
That we cannot see you.
Yes, that's true. You cannot see me. Oh man.
Turn on the camera.
Ready for the camera right now, but I don't know if that's okay.
Turn the camera on. Much easier to talk.
Yeah.
Person who I can
Give
see.
me a sec. Give me a second. Can you guys see me now?
Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
It gives them,
Hello. Can you hear me? Is it?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Good. Good. So in how many? I just want a quick overview, if it's possible, right now.
Jack can give you overview.
Yeah, so at the moment we've gone through like different aspects of identity, like nationality, name, age, race, sexuality.
All right.
Now they're just gonna come back any second now from
Okay.
about 2 seconds. About whether we should get rid of labels and boxes, because we were also discussing kind of disadvantages like prejudice and discrimination.
Okay.
We're discussing should we get rid of these labels and boxes, make it better. And also,
right.
And then how to eliminate kind of prejudice and discrimination.
Okay.
And they're gonna come back in 50 seconds.
All right. Cool. No problem. No problem. I think I have time for that. Thank you guys for having me on. So
You can, when they will be back, all of them, you can introduce yourself.
all right. Cool.
I don't know why your group came back earlier, but hi guys.
Yeah, I really wish I had come on earlier, but I think she knows why I didn't come on earlier. So
yeah,
No.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 seconds. Hello, welcome back. Yeah, sorry for interrupting if you're in the middle of a discussion, but it was time to end. Since you were gone, we have a new guest. If you want to introduce yourself, Mike.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Wolabi from Gambia, West Africa. 24 years of age, and I'm honored to be part of this group session.
Yeah. And you met Vendy. You met Mike on a. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Does anyone want to share? Like for the first question, should we get rid of labels, boxes? Mike, feel free to intervene if you have anything to say or so.
Well, I wanted to have a quick overview about what it is about before I get rid of the boxes and the labels and stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
Maybe when people share, maybe we'll have some insight to share as well.
All right, no problem.
But anyone, first group maybe? I can't remember who was in that.
We said that it's kind of impossible to do that completely because our brains are wired to need simplification sometimes. So, and also some of the labels mean certain things. For instance, being of a certain race might negatively impact you. And then if you're ignoring that altogether, you might be ignoring certain problems. So yeah, we said we couldn't completely get rid of boxes, but we have to get rid of the negative judgment that we can associate with them sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good point. But do you think it would be positive to get rid of the boxes? Not that it's just not very possible to do, but do you think it would be, if it was possible, do you think it would be a good thing?
That's hard. Maybe some of them. Yeah, but definitely the negative things we associate with them. Mm-hmm. But if you get rid of the boxes, some of the things that they, some of the labels, what they label will still be there. I will still be 19, even if no one knows I'm 19. I will still be younger or older than some people, which might mean something. That's not going to change.
Yes.
So I think, yeah, it's very hard.
Like conceptual, so. Okay, anyone else from group 1? Christina?
I'm not from group 1, but I want to say I think I think they can be good because by having a name for something, it allows you to have a conversation about it and kind of just through the conversation you can maybe get rid of those negative associations, and it's easier for people to understand, I think. But then also it's important not to make it too stuck on trying to break certain stereotypes or live up to something. So it's kind of like striking a balance.
Yeah. Anyone else? Gabs, Dana?
Yeah, I kind of have this idea that we have these labels to kind of use it to protect ourselves from something that we associated that hurt us in the past, or that we do not have the strength or the energy right now to deal with, or just just to separate ourselves from this in order to function clearly and to know what we are applying ourselves to. In fact, I think without these boxes, I don't know how a human could function. Like, where would, like, as what would I be?
Yeah. Anyone else?
I just had I don't know if I can put it into words, but what you said. Okay, so like you're you, and I think the boxes can distract us from, because then it's like, does it really? You're not defined by just one box, or even a collection of boxes. It's just you're you, but the boxes or the labels can kind of help you get some connection with other people, because then you feel like you have a community. But still then, okay, I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah. A last one for this question. Diane, you want to go?
Yes, I think to help what Christina wants to say is the boxes help you to say, I'm a girl, I'm from there, and do this. It just, we often associate already. Like, for example, if you smash something in the round, like I'm bisexual, people, those who don't like, they're gonna be like, ugh. Those who like say, yeah, I'm fine, they're gonna be like, oh, nice. And those who actually don't care, they don't care. The point is, just by saying something should not make a pre-thought or a thinking way or an assumption of something. It just should help you to be like, I'm a great drawer, so people who like drawing, they're gonna be like, oh, nice, can we draw one day together? And people who don't care, they should be like, okay, he draws or she draws. Instead of making the presumption, oh, did she think she's like an artist? Oh, she thinks she's the best. Now, it's like this way of thinking which ruins it. You can use the boxes. You don't have to put them in negativity.
Yeah. I have something to say about it, actually. Like, I think there's these aspects, there's kind of two different categories. One is very personal. So gender, sexuality, age, name, even, like they're something that you are within yourself, or name not so much actually, but yeah, whereas others kind of connect you to a culture, like language, religion, race. And I think the ones where gender, sexuality, etc., I think that for me personally, I would quite like to see that, not that they don't exist, but they have very little importance. Like gender is fluid, sexuality is fluid, in my opinion. So if they had less importance, if people didn't really care so much, like it's not, I think it would be a lot easier for a lot of people. Whereas race, language and stuff, that connects you to a whole history, to a whole culture, and your family heritage. It's, yeah, I think to get rid of that would be naive. It would get rid of responsibility of people, of the kind of racial hierarchy there is now. There would, I think we, like white people, have a certain responsibility to make that more balanced. And I think it's, yeah, to get rid of that, I think would be naive. But that's my personal opinion. I also think it's not very possible as well. Yeah, maybe move on to next. We're a bit short on time actually, but to move on quickly to the next question. How do we eliminate prejudice and discrimination?
Beatriz?
First thing that came up in our group was like education. So and also exposure. So not only educating people, but also letting people experience the wide varieties of differences that we have. So by learning, not only by just being told, but also experiencing, I don't know, like traveling to another country like you did, and really getting to know the differences, you can probably try to rather than eradicate and eliminate these boxes, maybe eliminate the bad impact that they have on people's lives. And we also said that choose your it's okay, like I'm talking about from all the group, I hope it's okay for the group. It was just like to sum up what we've discussed, which was really interesting. Then also choose your way of getting information. So mass medias and social media have a huge impact on our lives and on also our way of thinking nowadays. And it's really important to choose what kind of information you get, and also what importance you give to those informations. And we also said, like, start from yourself. So if you spend energy to get to know you better, and also maybe to get to know your boxes, the one you feel like you fit in and the one that maybe other people kind of give to you as a label, maybe you can then transfer these to other people. So try not to judge other people just by that box, or also you know already that maybe a box is like fluid, or you don't really fit in one box but you're in between two. And yes, so start from you to then go to the others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else? No, group 1, group 2. Dan, yeah.
For getting rid of prejudice, it's really, really tough, I guess. It's not like something it's very easy done, because there's so many aspects in correlation. It's not just like where you come from, the family already gives you beliefs, the way how your parents raise you, or you're raised by let's say if you have parents which are utopic and they are like teaching you the 100% right moral that you never should prejudge and always be like thoughtful, doesn't mean that even the child will be like this, because this child has still his own personality. Besides of this, every family has different way of thinking, behavior, have to be like this, have to act like this. After that, you have the school, the children around you, the teachers. You have so many people who have impact on it. And I think to change prejudice is only possible if whole humanity would start to prejudge or just think about something, but accept, understand, and try to go for it. And I love Disney. I'm a very realistic person, but I also love Disney and anime because it shows all the diversity in a different way, and it can like work on some issues and problems and show them with a sign of hope at the end. So I can just tell you to watch the film Tinkerbell. I don't know if you know it. Tinkerbell. It actually shows exactly this: how to create yourself in the community and how to overcome prejudice in some ways, in a really, really cute fairy way. But I can just like really like, it can help if you really just try to reflect on it in a different way, not just like it's good for Disney, but like try to get out the main point of it. It can help. But yeah, it's really tough, but not unmakeable. We can do it.
Thank you. Last group. I think it's group 1. Not sure though. No?
I mean, I can share, but basically what was named, we talked through. that through education and self-awareness and these all things, constructive mindset in a way that you should distinguish what kind of information you get and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think one thing that wasn't mentioned is this idea of allyship, standing up for other people. So if you're straight, standing up for gay rights. If you're a man, being a feminist. If you're, yeah. And yeah, I think that's very important. And yeah, but education, I think, is the main key.
Yes, sorry.
I don't know if anyone, we are pretty much out of time. We are out of time, but I don't know if anyone has any final last comments to sum up. No? Okay.
But yeah, I can share my example, because the question, who am I, it's quite complex and I never asked myself before. And before coming to DNS, I was like, you know, living in this bubble and focusing on my studies and my success. And I was just like going straight and not thinking about like what is going on in, around me. But since I started to travel, I realized a lot of things. And due to that, the countries which we traveled through was strong religions. There was strong religion. And for example, the people ask me like, what is your religion? What do you believe in? And I just didn't know what to answer because I never questioned. And it was like, for me, it was not so important, but for them was the first priorities to say, like in my names, and I'm Muslim, for example, or I'm Christian. And it was very helpful for me to question also things about me, which helped me to reflect about myself. And yeah, I would say that the way like that we should start like where we are now, like where you have the biggest impact to make the change, like in your school or your home or somewhere. And I think we can start like everybody are able to start with like giving a smile to strangers, for example, or give a handshake or handshake. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But thank you for joining, guys. Yeah, we have actually another course tomorrow. It won't be us two, but it will be Nina and another of our teammates about neocolonialism, I believe. Yes. So join in. What time is it, Nina?
7:30.
7:30. Thank you, Rina. And there will be other courses throughout the week and next week, every day basically. So check it out on DNS Facebook and yeah, sign up. Is it good? Yeah, thank you for joining, guys. Keep in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.